A systems approach emerges from the understanding that the 1990s marked the dawn of globalization. The world was transforming into a market without national borders, where goods, services, money, and ideas flowed freely. At the heart of this transformation is the dynamic interplay between the multinational corporation and the nation-state. The book argues that neither can thrive in isolation. The nation-state needs the economic vitality and innovation of multinational corporations, while these corporations require the stability, infrastructure, and markets that nation-states provide. This interdependent relationship forms the core theme of the entire text. The author, drawing from over 15 years of teaching experience, structures the book to first build a strong theoretical foundation before diving into management practices. He compares international managers to engineers or physicians. Just as they must understand physics or biology, a global manager must grasp international economics to practice effectively. The book is therefore organized into 3 distinct parts. The first part introduces the subject itself, exploring the broad field of international business and its main actors, the multinational corporation and the nation-state, which constitutes the environment. Part 1 begins by defining international business as all exchanges of goods, services, information, and money across borders. It explains that these activities are deeply interrelated. The book then introduces a central model, the evolutionary process of internationalization. Most companies don't become global overnight. They follow a stepwise path, beginning with the lowest risk mode, exporting and importing. When faced with trade barriers or strategic opportunities, they may move to contractual arrangements like licensing or franchising. With growing confidence and commitment, the next phase is investment, such as direct foreign investment or joint ventures. The final, most complex phase involves forming global consortia and strategic alliances, where corporations and sometimes nation-states collaborate on massive projects that exceed the capacity of any single entity. To understand this process, the book advocates for a systems approach. This means viewing a multinational corporation not as a closed fortress, but as an open system in constant interaction with its external environment. Like a living organism, the corporation takes in inputs like people, money, and resources, processes them, and produces outputs like products and, unfortunately, waste and pollution. Management's crucial role is to steer this system, ensuring its internal operations are in harmony with the external world. The external environment, comprising social, technological, ecological, political, and economic factors, is largely uncontrollable. Therefore, strategic management is defined as the art of anticipating the future consequences of present decisions on the relationship between the company and this external environment. It's a delicate balancing act between the company's capabilities, the environment's realities, and the desired goals. The book then delves into its main actors. It dedicates significant space to the multinational corporation, or MNC. The MNC is presented as a large, complex, and often controversial entity engaged in international trade, portfolio investment, and direct foreign investment. The text acknowledges the heated debate surrounding MNCs. Are they exporters of jobs or creators of wealth? Do they exploit developing countries or transfer vital technology? The book outlines various academic and practitioner viewpoints, from the sovereignty at bay school, which sees MNCs outgrowing the nation-state, to the dependencia school, which views them as instruments of exploitation, to the more pragmatic, meliorist view that believes MNCs can be harnessed for global betterment through enlightened management and cooperation. The other key actor is the environment, which is broken down into the macro-environment and the micro-environment. The macro-environment is the big picture, the physical planet with its finite resources of food, minerals, and energy, and its limited capacity to absorb pollution. It also encompasses humanity itself, global population dynamics, religions, languages, and political and economic systems. The book presents stark data on the unequal distribution of global wealth and the challenges of development. The microenvironment, in contrast, is the specific external business environment relevant to a particular firm. Here, the book introduces the practical tool of environmental scanning, a method for managers to systematically identify, evaluate, and incorporate emerging social, technological, ecological, political, and economic issues into their strategic planning. It even describes a conceptual expert system named Enskin designed to assist in this process. Part 2 of the book shifts to building the theoretical base. It asserts that international management is applied international economics, just as engineering is applied physics. This section provides a concise refresher on economics fundamentals, modeling an economy as an open system. It explains key concepts like gross national product, aggregate demand, and the circular flow of income. The focus then narrows to international economics, trade, and finance. It covers the classic theories of international trade, such as comparative advantage, and explains the real-world policies that govern trade, like tariffs, quotas, and regional economic integrations, like the European Community. The International Finance chapter demystifies exchange rates, the international monetary system's evolution from the gold standard to managed floats, and the complexities of balance of payments. The message is clear. Managers operating globally must understand the economic currents in which their companies swim. Part 3, the heart of the book, focuses on the management of global operations. It walks through the key strategic decisions a global manager must make, mirroring the evolutionary internationalization process. It starts with participation strategy, the how of entering foreign markets, evaluating the pros and cons of exporting, licensing, joint ventures, and wholly owned subsidiaries. Next is organization strategy, how to structure a sprawling multinational corporation to be both globally integrated and locally responsive. Subsequent chapters delve into functional strategies. Financial management strategy explores the challenges of raising capital, managing currency risk, and moving funds across borders. Production and sourcing strategy tackles decisions about where to locate plants, how to manage global supply chains, and whether to pursue just-in-time logistics. Marketing strategy in a global context is shown to be a nuanced art. The book discusses the tension between standardizing a global brand and adapting products to local tastes, a challenge framed as the balance between globalization, multinationalization, and triadization, focusing on the three major markets of North America, Europe, and Japan. Human resource strategy addresses the immense difficulty of staffing, compensating, and developing a multicultural workforce, and how management practices may or may not transfer across cultures. The critical role of communication and control systems is highlighted, showing how information technology and reporting mechanisms are the nervous system that holds a far-flung corporate empire together. The book concludes by looking forward to the evolving forms of global business. It dedicates a chapter to consortia and strategic alliances, recognizing that the future will increasingly be shaped not by companies competing alone, but by networks of firms, and sometimes governments, cooperating to compete. It speculates on macro-engineering projects, and even the commercialization of space. The final vision is one of continued interdependence. The nation-state is not obsolete, but its role is changing in dialogue with the global corporation. The successful global manager of the future is portrayed as a Renaissance person, culturally aware, economically literate, and capable of making decisions that consider a move on the global chessboard from Peoria to Patras. The book closes by affirming that while the path is complex, a systems approach provides the framework for understanding and navigating the exciting, challenging, and inescapable reality of the global marketplace. Throughout Global Business Strategy, A systems approach blends theory with practice, concepts with cases, and optimism about the wealth-creating power of global business with a sober awareness of its social and environmental responsibilities. It serves as both a textbook and a guide, aiming to equip the next generation of managers with the mindset and tools to operate effectively in a world where economic borders are fading and the fates of corporations and countries are ever more intertwined.